Okay.
We are here.
All right. Yeah.
It's like, all right, hold on.
No, yeah. It's just you're never really prepared for something like this.
Yeah, I know.
But this is the moment. This is it. We are starting this.
We are actually doing this.
Yeah. I've always how do I even say this? It's like I prolonged it on my own. I always knew the time would come.
Yeah.
But I always just prolonged it.
Yeah.
It's just I don't feel like it.
I'm not ready. I'm too busy.
Yeah.
But this is exciting.
Yeah.
This is a new chapter.
Yeah, but what is this? Well, might as well.
Let's maybe introduce ourselves.
Yeah, let's introduce ourselves here. For those of you who don't know us, I'm Xavier. My wife.
I'm Adrian.
And God, I'm trying to put my words together because it's at the same time it's like
you got so much to say.
Yeah, exactly. We got so much going on. I don't have anything really rehearsed. I want to make this as raw as possible.
It's genuine.
As genuine as possible.
Yeah.
Honestly, if there's anything that we could say is we're acting on obedience. We said in the beginning, we knew it was happening. We knew this was going to come.
Yeah.
But it's just we prolonged it. So today, what we're starting here is a video podcast.
Yeah.
And we're called 7Sixteen.
Yay! That feels exciting to say out loud.
Yeah, right?
Because we've been we've been keeping this on the hush. And some people know, but it's just because we've asked for advice or we're like, hey, what's your honest opinion? But we are as much as social media makes us very public to the eye and everything, we're pretty private people. And I think we've learned to really disconnect ourselves when we have to. So it's nice to finally say this out loud and be like, wow, guys, we are 7Sixteen.
Yeah. And the idea behind 7Sixteen, because it's like, whoa, what is that?
Yeah.
Why 7Sixteen? Why even call yourself a number?
Yeah.
But the reason behind 7Sixteen is actually because of Matthew 7:16. And although this isn't the complete verse, the part that we love the most about this verse is you will know them by their fruits, and it's a very broad statement because when you go into 7:16, when you go into the tension of it, it's to identify who the false prophets would be.
Yeah.
And it could be more than that.
Yeah. There's so much that goes along with that because by their fruits, it's not even just false prophets. It could be fake friends, people that don't belong in your life. There's
red flags in relationships.
By so much, Yeah. I mean, that's a whole nother category. But yeah, the fruits that people produce will say a lot about that person and can basically help you become a better judge of character.
Yeah.
To
you want develop that discernment.
Yeah, basically that's what it is, So that's where he came up with that idea. I
did not come up with that idea, first of all.
Okay,
let's clear that up.
Okay, you're right.
Let's backtrack here a little bit because we always knew this was coming, right? But we didn't have a name. What were we going to do with this? What was the intention of it?
Yeah.
Why even do this, right? And Adrian and I, we have history.
Yeah. You and I.
We definitely have history.
Got history. I just
we go way back, right?
We go way back.
And for those of you who don't know, we've been together for 14 years.
Yeah.
And we started when we were 14 years old. We are a legitimate high school sweetheart couple.
Yeah, we've been together for literally a lifetime because, I mean, if we're realistic, your life really doesn't begin till your early teens, basically. I mean, yeah, you have your childhood, but there's so much innocence and pureness and things that you don't realize. But I feel like your character development really begins in your teen years. And that's where we went out. That's where
we're figuring things out.
There's just so much.
That identity crisis. We were going through it together.
Literally. And now it's it's crazy because 14-year-old Xavier is very different from 25-year-old.
First of all, you even got 4
year and no, not 28. I'm 29. I'm so sorry.
You even got my legal name wrong.
Legal name?
I mean, my legal age. Wow, my legal age.
You got it. No, I'm kidding. You know why? He recently turned 29. But,
yes, but
there's this whole ongoing joke where he just stays 25 and just has anniversaries. That's right. So, I'm sorry.
So I'm
not
on my
29
4th anniversary
years old.
of being 25.
You're on your 4th. That's right. Okay. So, but 14-year-old Xavier, totally different from 25, 4th year anniversary Xavier.
You can say 29. It's fine. But before we go too deep into what our relationship is, so going back, going back on what we were going back on,
exactly,
right?
Exactly, yeah.
So 716, right? We wanted to be able to give what we offer, what we can offer, and that's advice, and that's relationship advice. I mean, we have history, we have experience, and we have the best part of all, God in our center, right?
Yeah.
And, I was asking God, I'm like, man, I really want to do this, but I don't have a name.
Yeah.
I don't have a name.
And I'm horrible with choosing names. Like, I'll be like, X and A forever. Like, like something super cheesy. I'm kidding, but I'm just saying, like, like I'm really bad at like names or labeling things or whatever it is. And I was just all like, hey, you can have fun with it. And then, whatever. But I mean, you found it, I think, in the best way possible.
Yeah. So I was in church. And I was just up there, I was just praying, and and I don't know where it just came to me, 716. I had no idea, first of all, what 716 was.
You were like,
okay. and days went by, I'm thinking of the name, and the number that keeps showing up was 716. I'm like, yeah. God, is this what you're trying to tell me? 716, but what is 716?
Yeah.
And, he told me to look into the Bible, but I didn't look into the Bible. So here goes, I want to say 2 weeks went by, and I'm still prolonging it. And then one day I just decided, you know what, let me just look at this.
Yeah.
Let me see what 716 falls on.
So what did you just put?
So I literally Googled 716 Bible on Google. And the first thing that showed up was Matthew 7:16. You will know them by their fruits, et cetera, right?
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
is this it? This has to be it.
Like this has to be it, right? But again, as us in the flesh, and we tend to doubt God and everything, and I just didn't really do anything about it. So the week went by, and then church service came, and we started talking about the fruits.
Oof, yeah.
And then another preaching showed up online, and that was talking about the fruits. Wow. And then another service came up that was talking about the fruits.
And you're like, wow, God, all right, I get it.
I don't think I need 3 confirmations, right? But that's where it came from. It was the 716.
Yeah.
And then I started thinking about, I started talking to a friend of mine, a good friend of mine. I rely on him for anything biblical because I consider him, in a sense, someone who's knowledgeable.
Okay.
And I trust his advice, right? So I asked him, I'm like, hey, what do you think about this? And it would be for this, and it would be for that. And he said, yeah, but it's kind of broad. And I was like, perfect. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Because I don't want it to, you get me? I don't want to pinpoint something, right? So it was broad in the sense of
there's
this
so
portion,
many topics
right?
you can cover with this.
And our intention of 716, our intention of this podcast is to, in a sense, advise young couples, advise, teenagers or adults who are seeking a relationship.
Yeah.
And even friendships. How many times do we get into a circle that really is just damaging?
Yeah. Toxic friends that you think they're, good, or you hold on to them for so long just out of comfort. But it's like, at the end of the day, I think one of the questions that we should really ask is like, well, what are they producing?
Yeah, exactly.
And that sometimes will answer you on its own. And a lot of times we know, like, okay, this person isn't right for me, or they are, right. But we tend to hold on to them.
Right. And there's a lot of times there's a red flag.
Yeah.
It's like the influence, if you're going through something, and let's say a single guy is going through something, or a guy going through a breakup is going through something, and your friend automatically, oh, we should go to the strip club.
Yeah.
Red flag. Come on.
Yeah.
His fruits. Come on.
And this is something I kind of want to clarify just in case, because sometimes it's like, those people also do need help. But what we're talking about mainly is like your very inner circle. It's like those.
I'm glad you pointed that out.
Because sometimes we'll be like, oh, so no one can make mistakes. No, we sin every day. Yeah. We have issues of our own. But when it comes to your immediate circle, it's
you just have to be careful.
Yeah, it's because you can't just let anyone in, and people will really, whatever the other person has will really start to influence you in your life, and will change you.
Yeah. And there's plenty of biblical passages that talk about, know who's in your circle. Yeah. Know who you hang around with. We grew up in a Spanish family. And what's the saying?
What is it? Dime con quién andas y te diré con... No, wait. Dime con quién andas y te diré quién eres. That's right. It's something along that. But it has that Puerto Rican flair to it. Yeah. Dime con quién tú andas.
My mom would say that to us all the time. Yeah. I mean, because, we were in middle school and high school, and we were picking friends, and, a lot of times that was it.
Yeah.
And it was facts. And I know it now. I can say it confidently now. You should know who's your inner circle.
Yeah. I mean, when you're young, you're so caught up on, just being noticed.
Being cool,
and not being alone.
Noticed, yeah.
Grabbing attention and just being the person that everyone likes to go to. And then I think you start getting older and you start realizing, like, no, I don't want to be liked for something. I don't want to be liked for something that I'm not. Like, I want to be myself, Mm-hmm. But let's put a pin on that, because I feel like we could just keep going in.
Right. But I mean, at the end of the day, right? This is what this is for.
That's true. This is what it is
we do have already a long list of...
I'm here like, I'm going to take a quick coffee break, by the way. We are huge coffee Actually, no, I'm not really a huge coffee lover. You're a huge coffee lover.
But now
and
you are.
He has influenced me, okay? But we got these really cute mugs. Can you show yours? Because we went to Hobby Lobby.
I did not plan for this. This was all her.
This is so cute. Wifey hubby.
But what I was going to say before you interrupted with your coffee break.
Coffee breaks.
We have a long list of videos, topics, things that we're going to go into. For married couples as well as relationships. We want to cover things even for young teens that are seeking a boyfriend or girlfriend. I mean, the reality is, although, I can't really say you shouldn't be going out with somebody at that young age. You get me?
It's like,
because
who are we to speak?
14.
Who are we to speak? You were 14 trying to be like, hey, girl, can I get your number?
But listen, though. I felt like we were very different in our level of maturity. But I'm not going to single anybody. I'm not going to say you can't. You get me? Like, we did it, right? It worked out for us. Mm-hmm. But hear us. Yeah. Hear the advice.
Yeah.
You get me? If you're young and you're trying to find a girlfriend or find a boyfriend, this might be for you, right?
Yeah.
I'm not telling you not to do it. If I could give you an advice, maybe hold off a little bit.
Yeah.
But if you're going to do it anyway, there's going to be certain topics that we're going to cover.
Yeah.
And
not
it's
even
gonna
for
be,
young.
It's going to be for you,
Yeah, not even for like young teenagers. It's like just in general when it comes to your lifelong partner, there is a lot of things to look out for, and things that I feel like it's necessary to have some kind of knowledge on, and just to be on the lookout. No one's perfect. Like I was saying, 14-year-old Xavier, very different from 29-year-old Xavier, and even still.
And your mom didn't like me.
Yeah. No, but even still till this day, it's like you're still developing to the better, version of you. And I think for the rest of our lives, that's just what we're trying to be. But I think, a big part is the person's intention, if they're willing to. There's a lot of things, but I feel like we have gone through a lot of things in our life together, and things that we've always wanted to share. It's just always been like, okay, where do we share our relationship? Like, stories, history, advice that we can give, maybe help out someone else. So that's why, like, this podcast is something that's like so interesting and something that I'm so excited about because it's like finally we get to just talk.
Yeah.
You know, we get to be real.
And it's going to be real. Yeah, exactly. It's going to be real. It's going to be true to our heart, really. It's going to be something that's actually sentimental for us. Sorry. And at the same time, you know, we're creating a history, in a sense, video history, and we're going to be doing it with everybody, right? But my kids are going to get to look back on these videos.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
Yeah. You know, and just to think about it, you know, they're going to be able to get online and, you know, God forbid. I mean, I've always thought about this, right? If I'm not there one day.
Yeah.
You'll
have something to look back on.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh, why is that making me emotional?
I mean, I've thought about it. I've thought about it before. If there's anything that I could say is I don't have my babies yet, but man, do I love them. I love them.
Listen, we have something like that we've been trying to record for a while, and obviously it won't be in this podcast, but it's, I think, a great idea for any parent. For sure. So one thing that we really want to do is record ourselves from our age right now. We're not pregnant. We don't have any kids. We are like, you know, we've been, I mean, my mom says like, you're living the single life, but really, obviously we're married, but it's like, you don't have the responsibility of like children. Yeah. But one thing we're like dying to do is just make a video of ourselves from our current age for our kids to open when they're much older, maybe when they're like 18, 21, whatever it is. And, you know, so we won't go too much into detail with that, but it's just I think it'll be something that your future self will appreciate. But if our future kids are looking at this, we love you so much, and we can't wait to have you one day, and just to, you know, be able to give you all the love, all the advice.
Making me choke up here.
I know. I'm just like, okay. Next topic.
So, I mean, where do you come from? I mean, you know, Adrian is, I would say, is pretty famous.
Stop.
La muy muy aquí.
No. Well, for those of you who may or may not know me, I'm also known as Smash Brush. I have been doing makeup for about 10 years now. It's been literally a lifelong journey, and it's something that I'm still doing, and I'm so grateful for it. But yeah, I mean, Xavier has been around since before I even like knew how to apply makeup. He actually advised me to pursue like the right career, because there was so many different things that I wanted to do. One of them actually included being a math teacher. But I you know, literally 180 of my life became a makeup artist. So I am a bridal makeup artist. What else am I? I am a sister. I am a daughter. I am
awesome wife.
Oh, thank you, babe. You know, he said it. Yeah, I am married. And we have been married now for 6 years. Insane.
Well, yeah.
Basically 6 years. We've been married for 5 years and
6 in July.
Like 9 months or something. Is it? I think it's exactly 9 months.
I
don't know. Whatever, you know. But I'm an active member. We both are active members. I'm in the worship team, born and raised in church. And it's just, you know, we're here today. And it's just crazy to see how like life has kind of taken a turn. And I would love to share like my spiritual journey part, but I don't want to get ahead of myself, because I can literally continue talking.
No, I mean, it's fine.
No, but like, tell me about yourself. Tell us about you, Xavier.
So at the very moment, there is no title on Xavier. I mean, other than the fact that I'm one of her greatest supporters. Mm-hmm. You know, like she said, I advised her to pursue makeup.
Yeah.
Since the beginning, since 14, I was a hustler.
Yeah.
I was a hustler.
Mm-hmm. He was a businessman.
Yes, I was. And I thank my dad for that. He taught me everything I needed to know, right, to make money even at the age of like 12.
Yeah.
You get me? And a lot of what I did was just selling cars back in the day. I mean, some people might know me as that. You know, it's like, oh yeah, Xavier knows about cars.
That's the car guy.
Yeah. If you need a car, go for him. Meanwhile, I'm trying to sell you like a 92 Civic. But it was that was my thing back in the day,
Yeah.
and I've always been business oriented.
Yeah.
So when it came to you, it was, man, you're good at this, and nobody's doing this right now, right? And at the time, it was on YouTube, but not really.
Yeah, it was like the peak.
If you
of
wanted
the
to get
beauty
your makeup done,
industry.
you needed to go to like Macy's or something,
Yeah.
right? So it was just more of a mature crowd that was going over there. Young girls were just putting on eyeliner at the time and some wild makeup that they used to do. Because I've seen your back in the day.
Excuse you. I look cute, okay?
But anyway, besides that, and then we got through high school. You started going to UCC, and you started doing everything that you had to do.
Can't spell success without UCC. That was like their slogan.
Well, clearly you can. Anyway, so and it was, I saw your energy. I saw how excited you were for makeup. So I told you to pursue it. I didn't want you to just not do nothing, because I was already not doing nothing, and your mom already hated me for that.
Yeah.
It was
Listen,
it was
we
tough
were-
for me. It was tough. I
Yeah.
didn't actually start going back to school. I didn't actually start going to school until, what was it? When did I start? It was in 2019.
Yeah.
You know?
Literally recently. And, that's the thing too. It's like not, I personally think, the pressure, there's like just so much pressure put into like 18-year-olds. And it's like, you need to figure
it all out.
You need to
right?
figure out your life right now. You need
Yeah.
to know what you like when it's like people even at 30s are having career changes because they don't like what they're doing, So yeah, at that time it feels like you're doing nothing, but literally you're figuring out your life, your likes, your dislikes, maybe not getting into crazy debt, doing something you don't like. Because let me tell you, I've taken courses, I've taken like technical like things, and it's like I've spent money and it was things to just get a job, but not something I was ever passionate about,
Right. Yeah, and for me, at the very moment, like I said, I'm in school.
Yeah.
But
Ooh, what are you studying? You gotta tell us.
I'm studying architecture. I've always loved architecture. I've always loved the idea. I'm like on Minecraft and Sims and all that stuff, like Arc as well. Yeah. For those who don't know, that's a very underrated game, but it's just all building, right? It's all structure. And I've always been into that stuff. So I pursued architecture. I've always wanted as a kid. I just ran away from math, but now I'm kind of like with her by my side, with
what's crazy?
the math teacher by my side.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what's crazy? Like, I just thought about this now. It's like, here you are wanting to pursue something, and there's a side of you that doesn't know math, and then God happens to place someone who freaking loves math.
Yeah.
That's crazy, right?
Yeah. We complement each other. Mhm. But you know what? Although I don't have a title, I can't say, I have a legitimate business. I can't say I'm a executive at some so-and-so.
Okay, yes and no.
Excuse me.
I'm only saying like yes and no because it's like, it's our business, like Smash Brush. There's, I have my YouTube, I have all of this, but it's like, I couldn't have done it and I can't do it without you. So it's like, it is definitely our business, even though I am the what is it called? Like, I guess the product maker in a sense,
Yeah,
but
I mean, I appreciate you saying that, but I'm saying, like although I don't have that specific title, like I'm known for something, God has that title for me.
Amen.
And it's just, I've always, if anything, I don't have it because I've always ran away from it.
Yeah.
I've always been told what my title is. I'm not going to say it here, but the day that it happens,
yeah,
I know it'll be God.
Yeah.
And sometimes we just take a process, right? It doesn't matter how long we get to that process. But I know that God has his ways of moving things. I know God has his ways of producing characters and developing you the right way, right? And we all go through our moments. We all go through our moments of darkness, and we all go through our moments where we're high and mighty, right? But I know that the day something happens, it's going to be a boom in my life.
Well,
and I declare it.
Yeah. Like, what's beautiful too is that a lot of times we think that we're delaying ourselves in life, and that we're like, man, had I done this move at this year or this and that, I would have been different. But literally, like, so many times our delays are just God holding us back, because that's not for you.
Yeah.
You know, and your delays aren't actual delays. They're actually, they were supposed to be there.
Right.
You know, and, you know, we believe in God, and we believe that God has placed us and knows everything about us. So you're actually in the very moment where you're supposed to be. Yeah. So all those setbacks or things that maybe you didn't feel so great about is just like God's way of sculpting you.
Yeah, and I'm happy about those setbacks, because now one day I'll be able to help somebody else that's going through the same thing.
Yeah. That has gone through the same
thing. And I know
thing.
that there's a lot of people out there that have gone through what I've gone through.
Yeah.
You know, one day I'll be able to speak about that. Mm-hmm. It's still a little hard sometimes, even to think about it now. I get my little
not lung catching.
But it's all right. It's all right.
Yeah.
You know, God's doing his thing. I never thought I'd be here.
Yeah.
Right? But I'm here.
This is a huge step.
It's a big step. It's a big step for the both of us, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I've never thought I'd be here, but I'm here.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, listen, like, I'm used to doing like YouTube and like videos. I haven't done them in a couple of months just because life has a way of like really taking up all your time. But you know, even with like you getting on my channel, things like that, it's been very sporadic, very like just little bit here and there. Xavier has always just been the guy that wants to be in the background, the guy that doesn't want the attention, the guy that's just not like, no, not me, that's not for me, you know? And so like to be here at this very moment, it's I'm very proud of you. You know, 10 years ago, you would not be here. You would not be anywhere around this atmosphere. And just, I've seen your growth spiritually. I've seen your growth mentally and just like as a person. And I applaud you. And I think just keep going forward, because God has just such big and amazing things for you.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I think as long as you're in obedience and you have that communion with him, like you will definitely have the guidance from him.
Yeah.
You know,
no, 100%.
And not just the guidance, the blessing and the wisdom on what to do and what not to do.
Yeah. I appreciate that, baby. I appreciate it because, you know, you've always been a sense of confidence to my side, you know. Wherever I just doubted myself, you were there. No, baby, you got this. You can do it. You know, and it's amazing, you know, and I think that this is part of what we're talking about here, you know, to be able to find a partner that complements you the way a partner should complement you, you know, to be able to find somebody that produces the fruit that you need to eat, right? You know, that you need to consume, that needs to be in your inner circle, you know, and I thank God for you. You know, I thank God for finding me, you know, because although I grew up as a Christian, you know, I've always been a Christian. I always, since day one, right? You can always
title yourself.
It's not about just going to church, right? Yeah. It's about actually serving. It's about actually feeling God's presence. It's about actually seeking. Yeah. You know, it's about actually finding him, right? And as a young teenager, you know, 11, 12, 13, even 14, some parts of our relationship, I want to say I was in and out. Yeah. You know, I had said I was a Christian. I went to church. Sometimes I would even preach to people at school. You know, I would actually talk to people about God. But it was difficult sometimes. I'd catch myself doing the things I shouldn't be doing. Yeah. You know, just messing up, just drifting off. And, you know, I thank God for finding me. I thank God for never giving up on me. For his mercy, for his love, you know, because that's what leaves me here right today, right? And there's so much that goes on in this world, but his love is never ending. Yeah. Right. There's so many things that can lead you away from going to church, and there's so many things that can be dismotivating even in the churches. Yeah. You know, and a lot of times we try to say, you know, us Christians, we're supposed to be the perfect example, right? But we're far from that. Yeah. Far from that. And a lot of times we'll go to church thinking that's that's who you have to be, right? You don't have to be perfect to go to church.
Yeah.
First of all, the church is a hospital for the sinners.
Yeah. We're not a museum of saints.
Yeah. You know, if you're down in dirts, if you feel unworthy, then the church would be the perfect place, right?
It's like welcome to everyone's life.
Exactly,
there,
right?
You know?
Because I feel unworthy to even sit here. Sometimes I think about myself. Sometimes I think about my own situation, right? And it's what stops you, right? Sometimes your own ministry will be stopped based on your own opinion of yourself.
Yeah.
You tell yourself, oh, well, who are you to actually try to teach the word?
Yeah.
Right? But at the end of the day, God's word is true, and it's never going to fail you.
Yeah.
So I ask God just to be that vessel, you know, at the end of the day.
For sure. You know, I mean, it says that with God, I mean, just perfect love casts out fear, right? And if God is with us, he is there. Like, the definition of fear shouldn't be in us. And anything that is there isn't of God, you know? And I think those are just like lies that the devil tries to tell us so he can take us away and further away. And it's just like a whisper in the back of your ear, like, hey, but you remember that, right? Like, I know you've been doing this and I know this. So, you know, you're not worthy enough to go to church. Like, they're just going to laugh at you or shun you or this and that, you know? And, but it's true. Like, you know, going back to just growing up in church, I feel like there are, I don't want to necessarily categorize, but I feel like when you find Christ, it's either you found them when you were much older or like a teenager or someone preached to you about it, or you were born into it, right? And I think for both of us, we were both born into Christianity. And, you know, for myself, it's like, that was just our thing. You know, we go to church every Sunday. We used to go to church on Tuesdays. And then my mom would do like home devotionals, and it was just very God-centered, right? And then it's like, as you get older, it's just your parents, obviously they have all the best intentions in the world, but sometimes not every parent is perfect. You know, obviously we don't know what it's like to be parents, but I'm sure we'll be making plenty of mistakes ourselves, you know? Yeah. But I'll say for sure, like, sometimes when you're young, you just feel like your parents are constantly like in discipline and shoving God down your throat. And then you're just all like, this isn't even what I want. Like, you're forcing me to do this. Yeah. And I remember personally for myself, I used to think when I was younger, I can't wait till I'm 18, till I don't have to go to church. I'm going to do whatever I want. I'm going to, you know, just live my best life.
100%.
And because my mom would always say, like, listen, until you're 18 or until you're older, like, when I go to church, you go to church. And that was all the time. And it was just something I remember just being like, I can't wait till that day comes. Like, it, you know, and I think about it now and I'm like, wow, that's so sad, but it's just the reality, you know? And as I got older, you know, I've definitely been on that same boat where it's like my spiritual life has been like this, you know, up and down. Like, there's been days where I'm like on that first love, like all high on Jesus, like I'm ready to go.
You get so pumped up,
so ready to face every battle.
Right? Those youth retreats, you come back.
Oh yeah,
you pumped, and then
yeah, and then that's it, you know. But you know, I'll definitely say that I've had so many moments in my life where it's been, you know, such a great time in His presence, and then it's like a couple of years, it's like, oh, I kind of forgot about you, and then it's all like, oh wait, but I know God is good. But then you're like, nah, I'm just going to go party with my friends. Or, you know, oh, wait, but I know I need to seek them, right? Because it's a constant battle. And the thing is that, you know, that's why the word says, like, instill your children, you know, with the word when they're young. That way, when they get older, they don't forget. And literally that has happened to me basically my whole life, because my mom would read scriptures all the time to the point where they're memorized in my head and they're in Spanish, you know? So it's just been one of those things where I'm just so grateful because, you know, when you're young, it's something you don't appreciate or something that you're just bothered by, but then you get older and you're like, wow, my mom was the true OG, you know, like she really had the best intentions for me. And so now I just feel like my hunger and my thirst for God has gotten so much stronger. And I'm just, again, like, I'm just so excited to be here to share with everyone what our journeys have been like, because we have been through a lot. Maybe not everything, you know, because I would say we're still relatively pretty young, but, you know, there's definitely a lot of things that we've gone through that hopefully we can share and hopefully help someone out one day.
And yeah, you know, there's a lot of things, and there's a lot of situations and a lot of experiences that we've gone through, and that we'd love to share together. We'd love to share with you guys, and maybe one day be able to help you.
Yeah.
You know, there's just so much.
There's just so much, you know, I think.
And I think that's what we expect to get out of this at the end of the day, you know, is just to be able to help people and be genuine about it, right? I don't want to be fake about this.
Yeah, no.
But all things through the Bible. I'm not gonna sit here and give you my advice based on
what opinion. I think it is.
Yeah, what I think you should do. No. We're gonna try to use the Bible as much as we can.
Yeah.
You know, and I believe that the Bible has all the tools necessary to make a proper decision for our partners, you know, for decisions in any situation, for friendships, for all of that.
Yeah. And we're totally willing to talk about literally any topic. Doesn't even have to be like relationship, you know, based or friendship based, but I'm so down to like, you know, really dive down to like specific topics or our point of views or things like that. For the most part, like, we're pretty open books.
Yeah. I mean,
you know?
Even for me, you know, there's topics of pornography that I'd like to dive into.
Yeah.
And even sex talk, you know, because we don't get enough of that.
Yeah.
Right. So there's a lot of Christian counseling. There's a lot of Christian scripture, but there's not enough about sex within marriage. Yeah. Right. And there's a lot of expectations that married couples go through.
Yeah.
And maybe that might be the downfall. Right.
Yeah. There's a lot.
Yeah. And you know, I would love to dive into more controversial topics as well.
Yeah. I mean, I'm literally down to talk about whatever, you know, whatever, whichever. And obviously we'll do our own research, and because, you know, we obviously don't know it all. We are still on this path where we're learning and we're growing each and every day. But sometimes this will cause us to maybe actually dive into the word for certain things that we don't know about. So I'm just excited for this overall, because I feel like it's like a challenge, but it's also just nice to sit down and talk, because like makeup YouTube is very different from this, you know?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's a whole different
It's setup. Literally a whole different thing. So I'm just all like, wow, this is kind of nice to like be able to sit down and just be real and, you know, just authentic on your thoughts and your opinions on things without, you know, just having to stay on one path about makeup, you know, and like now we can literally just say what we think.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, I think for sure, like our next episode will probably be, I would love to do a very like in-depth insight on our relationship.
On our relationship. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm
totally down. If you guys want to see that, just like let us know too.
Get all the specifics too. Get all that detail out there.
We'll get like the detail, because I feel like, you know, in 14 years, there's a lot. There's a lot that have gone by.
Half of our lives.
Yeah. You know, and there's even been a break in the middle of us like going out. Yeah. So it's there's some tough stuff that, you know, it wasn't perfect. No, it definitely
wasn't. We didn't have no Instagram goal relationship reality. No.
Yeah.
Listen, we're gonna give you guys the expectations, like what is it? The reality versus expectations. We're gonna give you that reality.
Yeah.
You know, and I want to be as true as possible.
Yeah, for sure.
Unfortunately, you know, we kind of have to.
We're coming towards the end.
Yeah, coming towards the end. One of the things though that we've discussed and we'd like to talk about is how God has been good to us. Yeah. You know, and we're gonna do that. Introducing every one of our videos, we want to introduce a segment of how God has been good to us, or what we learned this week,
or what we've learned. Yeah.
You know, and it's gonna be weekly. Along with our videos, right? Mm-hmm. So we want to upload every Monday at, what time did we say?
We're saying at 12 p.m.
12 p.m.
Yeah.
That might change, might not, but
if anything, we'll
expect a Monday around the same time.
Basically, right? Yeah. So do you want to start, or do you want...
Well, for me, man, God has been good to me because, okay. So one thing that I do, you know, because I do work, right? Mm-hmm. But I'm a school bus driver for students, for schools, and I love my kids, right? But one of the struggles that comes with being a school bus driver is that you're on the road, and you're on the road with all kinds of drivers, right? The good ones and the bad ones.
Oh, yeah.
Man, has God saved me from a lot of accidents.
Yeah.
I'm talking, I've seen a lot just this week. We together, we saw an overturned tractor trailer.
Actually, yeah, we saw two. There was two of them.
Right. And then in that same day, up ahead, when I was coming back home, there was an accident with a car literally flipped on its side, shutting down all of 287. Wow. Right? Well, not all of 287, but
a big
portion of 287, right? And rain, all that stuff, right? But just people cutting me off.
Yeah, you know, they don't people realize.
Brake checking a bus.
Yeah.
You get me? A bus full of kids.
Yeah.
Right? So I thank God because he's constantly, I mean, this week has been evident for me.
Yeah.
He constantly has my back, right? Yeah. And he got me to this podcast, right? He got me to this day. No. We got something to do here.
We got to take care of Xavier. He can't delay this even more.
Yeah. So, you know, I'm grateful.
Yeah.
I'm grateful for that because I'm alive today. And yeah, I mean, what more, right?
Yeah, you're literally your life.
Yeah.
I'll say for me, and I know I shared it with you already, but there's two things I'm really grateful for. Number one, so you know, we were discussing how like I have my own business with bridal makeup. We've been able to establish a team just because things were so crazy during the year 2020. And so one thing that I've been just so grateful is that, you know, I've been praying constantly like, God, you know, this business came from you. And actually that's probably a whole nother thing we could talk about one day. But
what's that?
Like how the business started.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's a whole nother testimony. You don't even know. So when I say like, you know, like this business belongs to God, it really does because he's the one that gave it to me. But backtracking again. You know, I pray to God like always. I'm like, you know, God, please allow me to have enough jobs, enough weddings, enough gigs to be able to give out to everybody, you know, because literally this is helping out other families. This is helping someone else, not only, you know, obviously receive money, but also to be able to live out their dream as well, you know, because I remember what it was like starting off with makeup and nobody would give me the chance, you know, so I just hope and I pray that God will give me enough to be able to give out to other people. And he has, like, just in this year, in these next couple of weeks, I'm just all like, wow, like, God, you are multiplying the bread and the fish like crazy. Like, you know, so I'm so grateful that he's given me the opportunity to bless others. And I think that's in itself, that's just such an amazing feeling, you know? Yeah. And then the other thing was, you know, God bless Chick-fil-A.
Oh my God.
So I moved.
You know,
you forgot about that.
Because we talked about this, right? We did talk about this. And I thought you were just going to insert that as a joke. But insert that because it was a joke, right? But whatever.
No. Chick-fil-A. We don't play with Chick-fil-A, right? That's God's food. But basically, I was... there's not that many Chick-fil-A's, but we recently just moved to a new studio location, and there's a Chick-fil-A like right down the block, and I'm just all like, wow, God, you are good.
Meanwhile, I'm over here, man, that wallet.
So I'm going in, right, and I was kind of having like a all right, meh kind of day, and so I remember when you're making your order, they ask you for your name, and I don't go enough to Chick-fil-A to see that many differences within like McDonald's, Wendy's, Burger King, all of that. So I remember I'm there and then I pull up and then the guy was like, hi, Adrian. Like, you know, I hope you're having a great day. Like all of this. And I'm just all like, you know, I am now. And he was just so nice. He's like, would you like any like extra barbecue or mayo or any of this? And I'm just like, no. And then they're like, by the way, if you fill out this survey, like you will totally get like a free like chicken sandwich next thing. And I'm just all like, you know, thank you, God, for Chick-fil-A, for the workers, for God's food, you know. No, but seriously, it made me really happy to like
That's
know
good, that's
that
good.
there's people that are like willing to make other people happy. Because if there's anything that I've noticed with like anything customer service related, like you can literally make or break someone's day. Like there has been so many times where when I used to work in Sephora back then, where I would just be like extra happy and peppy, and then they would be like, they'd be like, "Oh my gosh, like thank you, you are so nice," and then they leave with a smile. And then I've had experiences of people just like, "Hey, like, yeah," like rolling their eyes, and I'm just like,
Yeah,
I mean, we've
that's
seen it with
definitely- yeah,
waiters,
that's
so so I'm really grateful for Chick-fil-A. They're nice workers.
I think you're grateful for the kindness of that person.
The kindness of that person given through God's grace and love, the reflection. All right, let me stop. But yeah, those are the two things.
But all right. Well, I'm glad you're happy about Chick-fil-A, right?
I'm so happy I'm gonna go tomorrow.
Oh my God. But all right. So I don't really know. I mean, like I said, this is all new to us, right? So I don't really know how to end this.
Yeah,
but
if we were all over the place, like our bad, this is very new to
We're
us.
getting there, though.
So
We're getting there.
we'll get into a rhythm
Yeah.
eventually.
But as of right now, that's what's to come, right? So we have a whole lot of videos that we want to bring out, that we want to bring to you guys, and
Yeah, that is
we're
it.
hoping that God uses us as the vessel to give that word.
Yeah, for sure. And, again, like if you guys have any topics or anything that you would want us to cover, if you're watching us through
put it on the
YouTube,
comments.
make sure you put it on the comments. If you're hearing us through a podcast, like through Spotify or through iTunes or wherever it may be, make sure you follow us. Our Instagram is 7, and then the
7,
words
the
16,
written word 16,
the written
yeah.
word 16 with an underscore at the end. And if you're not following us and subscribe to YouTube, it's 716, same thing. And yeah, that is basically it.
Yeah. So I do appreciate you guys for watching. I do appreciate you guys for sticking through. I mean,
Sticking here. I don't even know how long this is gonna be at this point.
I mean, if you're here to this point,
like, we love you.
I'm grateful for you too, man. I'm grateful for you too. But all right, guys, we appreciate it, and we'll see you on the next one.
Yeah, we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.